record to the computer. I think I'm recording. Hello, good afternoon, everyone. This is Susan Gear, your president-elect of CATESOL, and today we have planned a training on using MemberLeap, and I'd like to introduce Marcia Chan, who really helped develop this slideshow and this training.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Glad to talk to you, glad to see you, and get your input on our little training session here. So our attempt today, our plan today is to show you the MemberLeap portal and the message boards so that we'll know what our new system looks like. Does that sound like a good plan?
Yep.
All right, so what are we going to do first?
I think we're going to have everybody mute themselves so that there's no interruptions on when we're talking.
All right.
Except for you, Marcia.
Okay, no muting for me.
Okay, and then let's go to the next slide.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd like to thank OTAN because this webinar is supported by them, as the Zoom room that I'm using is owned by OTAN. And I just want to show you that OTAN has a lot of services for you. They're all free, and we hope you use them.
Yay.
Okay, thank you, OTAN.
Thanks.
All right.
Okay, so the first thing you'll want to do as a CATESOL member is to log in from two places. The easiest place is to log in from the CATESOL homepage at catesol.org. And under the membership tab, you'll find one that says Member Portal. That's us. That's our new membership, MemberLeap portal. The other way is, if you like typing, to enter the URL. www.memberleap.com/members/members.php, and that will lead you to the MemberLeap portal. Let's take a look.
If anybody has any questions, go ahead and type them in, and I can see the chat box, and I'll make sure that Marcia gets the question. Next.
All right. Okay, so when you get to the portal, the first thing you'll need to do here is to enter your username and password and then click log in. Now, sometimes you forget your password, or maybe you just want to change it. Then at the bottom of the screen, you can reset your password by entering your username or email and then click reset my password. All right, now let's say you've done that and you've gotten into the system. Then what? So, Susan, move us along.
Yes, coming. I was muting people.
Okay. Now, CATESOL would like to make sure that your membership is current. So under the area called My Membership Information, there is a tab that shows billing information. And when you click on that tab, you will see extend your membership term and pay membership dues and fees. So even though your membership has not ended yet, it's possible for you to extend your membership. That is, to pay for the next term. All right, let's say you've done that, you've paid your membership dues and fees, and you're in. Let's go to the next screen. Now, a little bit of information about renewing, because sometimes we get mixed up with whether we're current or not current. Now, if you are a current member of CATESOL, then you have these two options. You may renew or you may extend. So renewing means that at the end of your current term, you're just going to buy the next one, the next term. While extend means you're still within your term. It hasn't expired, and it's not going to expire too soon, but you would like to extend it. You'd like to pay for the next or the coming term. Now, some of you think you are members because you have been members, but perhaps your membership has lapsed. If your membership has lapsed, you're not considered a member. And then you must click join. So you are rejoining but you just click the join button when you are at catesol.org. Now, if you have any trouble with your membership, Susan is ready to help you.
Right.
So,
We don't want you to get frustrated with this. And some people get very frustrated when they try to renew and it doesn't work.
mm-hmm. So here's catesolsusan@gmail.com. She's gonna help you out to make sure that we get you into membership one way or the other. Now, we'd like you to update your contact information every year because, as you know, things change. Some of you may have the same position every year, but some of you may change. You may change from a student to becoming a teacher, or a teacher at one place to a teacher at another place, and so on. So where do you do that? In the member menu, you're going to go to My Membership Information. There's a tab that says Member Information, and the small letters, Change Contact and Profile Information. Let's spend a little bit of time on this long page. Here's where you will enter your name, your address, your phones, email addresses, employer, position, and gender. That's fairly straightforward. This form continues to see, let's go to the next page. Yeah, so we see a certain area here, and we would like to let you know that while it's possible to exclude yourself or hide some aspects of your profile, CATESOL strongly suggests that you not select any of these exclusions, except possibly the home phone and the maps. You may wonder what public member list means. It doesn't mean all the people in the world. It doesn't mean all the people at MemberLeap. It means only dues-paying CATESOL members, because dues-paying CATESOL members are the only ones who have access to this portal. There is one that says suppress broadcast emails, and we highly suggest that you not do this, because what will happen if you do that? If you suppress broadcast emails, you won't get any notifications from CATESOL. Very sad.
So you have a lot of opportunities here to decide how you want to receive information, but just remember, whatever you suppress, that means nobody in your group can get information on you. So if you want people to be able to email you, they may not be able to do that if you suppress. So the maps you can suppress if you want, and if you don't want people to know your phone, that's fine, but don't exclude yourself from the list. Okay, shall we go to the next slide?
Sure, let's go to the next slide. Now here's all the good stuff that you're going to add to help with the demographics for CATESOL. In order for CATESOL to know the membership and who we represent, we would like all of this information to be checked that relates to you. So you'll put down the interest groups that you are interested in. Now, let you know here, you're not adding anything, you're not subscribing to anything, you're simply showing what you're generally interested in so that CATESOL, or as the organization, knows how many people are interested in these particular areas. As in terms of position, some of you may have one job and some of you may have more than one job, so check as many as applicable. As far as levels, again, some of you may teach at one level and some of you may teach at more than one level or have interest in knowing what's going on at more than one level. So check all of these that you're interested in.
Should I go to the next slide?
Sure.
Okay.
Continuing, we want to show you that there's a place to add your photo. So CATESOL members can connect your name to your face. So under My Membership Information, under the tab Member Information, we were at the Change Contact just now. Below that is Upload or Change Photo. So for you, if you haven't done it yet, you will be uploading. In either case, you just click this one, go to your computer, find the photo, and upload it. Then we'll be able to associate your name with your face.
Otherwise, what does it look like if they don't put a photo up there, Marcia?
So if it looks like a silhouette with a question mark, it means, oh my goodness, I don't know who I'm talking to. That's what it looks like. Now, we want to know how to communicate with message boards. Now, message boards is another way to say discussion boards. And we want you to look at the section called Communication. And under that, select Message Boards. Let's go there and find out what we see.
Okay, going.
All right, we'll see a long list of names, and they are in several different categories. We have board councils, we have chapters, we have interest groups, and we have levels. Those are the 4 general areas. And finally, at the bottom, we also have CATESOL job board. So if you're looking for a job, you'll probably want to include that one. So what do you do here? You choose from the groups named in the gray boxes. You put a check in the box in the first column called opt-in for each chapter, each interest group, and each level that you wish to subscribe to. So this is the place where you subscribe to a message board or an email list. Is there a limit? No, you can subscribe to as many as you'd like to. Now, if you're a group leader, that is a coordinator of an interest group, for example, then you also need to select the appropriate board council. Now remember, if you don't select a box, you won't get any notifications by email from that group. And that group could be having a raucous discussion about something very interesting, and you won't know about it. So it's best for you to select those groups that you're interested in. Now the chapters and the interest groups that are showing here may change as chapters and interest groups change within the organization.
Do you guys have any questions? Because it's a little confusing, at least to me, that you have to do this kind of like twice. One time is you're doing it just for the demographics, and this time you're doing it to get into the message board. So if you have any questions, go ahead and ask. We'll give you a minute to like reflect a little bit, and then we'll go on. Nobody has any questions?
Okay.
Right.
Let's see that. Can we go on to the next page then?
Yeah, no questions. So, okay, here we go. We'll go on to the next page.
So here's an example. And in this example, you can see that CATESOL TEL, Technology Enhanced Language Learning Interest Group, and CATESOL TOP, Teaching of Pronunciation Interest Group are checked. So this means that the user, this is my user, will receive notifications anytime someone in those groups makes a post. And then let's say if I click on a group to view the topics. Now this is an example of the CATESOL Top. The first 2 topics appear in the topics list. 2 messages are showing so far. You can also see the number of replies that there are so far, and the most recent author, and the date of the last post. Let's take a look at what happens when you click on one of the topics. All right, so I clicked on a topic, and that way I can view the posts to the thread. This one shows that I sent out a message to the group, and I'm not showing you all the 51 replies, but you can see a couple of the replies at the top are right here.
And also you can see what happens when you don't put your picture.
Yeah, so who wants to be a question mark? We need to go along to the next page to remind us what to do. So the next page reminds us that a gray silhouette with a question mark indicates you have not yet uploaded your photo. So to fix that, you go to the member menu, go to member information, and upload your photo. Don't be shy about that. This is a photo that goes to dues paying CATESOL members only. And so when we make our posts, then we can see who's talking. Member Leap message boards are email list enabled. That means you don't have to come to this site in order to see email from your groups. They will go into your own email address, whichever one you have associated with CATESOL. Now, suppose you would like to send out a message. How do you do that? Well, to create a new topic, submit an email to your group. For example, for teaching a pronunciation interest group, from your own member email address, select the email or send an email with an appropriate subject line to catesoltalk@memberleap.com. That's what we use for the top group. And how do you know what to send it to? Your chapter leader, interest group leader, or level coordinator will post the email address, or you can find it here on the message board. So you can see there's a correspondence between this example, CATESOL Adult, with CATESOL Adult @memberleap.com. CATESOL Tel with CATESOL Tel @memberleap.com. CATESOL CC for community college with CATESOL CC @memberleap.com. So if you're in doubt, you can always look on the MemberLeap site to find it out. Okay?
And the names, we have made them very consistent. So once you get into the pattern, you should be able to figure it out if you don't want to go look.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, here we go.
Now this is important because the email system here works differently from some of our other groups, like our Google groups. So we need to figure out how to respond to a message. If you want everyone in the message board to hear your reply, to see your reply, then you simply click reply. So that means that every time you click reply, even though you think you're replying only to the sender, it's not true. You're sending to the entire group. So what if you really want it to go to just one person, a particular person? Then to reply to a specific member, you need to take your message and click forward instead of reply. Click the forward button and then enter the email address of the specific member or members. And you're saying, well, how do I know the address? If you don't know the member's email address already, you may search for it by name in the member menu. Let's take a look how to do that.
Okay.
So to find a member's address in MemberLeap, you're going to go to the member menu, and under members, you'll select member name search. Okay? And then you'll enter the name or the part of the name of somebody you're looking for. So in this example, I entered B-U-R-I-K. And what came back to me was Birick Anthony. Yay, that's the person I was looking for. And here's the address. So I simply need to copy this address and then paste it in the forwarding message. And that way, my response will go just to Anthony and not to the entire group.
No, is that?
So do we have any questions so far on how the messaging works?
And don't forget, this PowerPoint slide set is available for you to peruse as you set up your account if you're not already doing that.
That's right. And there will also be a short video to access. So lots of different ways to get this information later on.
And we want you to use this system. So please go in there, and you can start having fun once you get in, going into the putting in your information. It's kind of fun.
Yeah, it is great.
So shall we move on, Marcia, you think?
Sure.
No question. Anybody has any questions? I do see that we forgot one group. We forgot the San Gabriel chapter.
Oh, we do have some groups that we will add when we get together again.
Yes, Danielle says, so if someone replies to a message, it automatically goes to all. Yes, that is a problem. So we need to forward.
Mm-hmm. So let's go back a little bit just to make sure that we go to that, because this is the part that is not so well known. Sometimes when we click reply, it looks like we're only sending it to the originator of the message. But in fact, it's going to every single person. So you'll recall I showed you an example where I asked people in the top group to reply yes to let me know whether they have received the message. I wrote, can you read this message? And 50 people eventually wrote back and said yes. So then we learned that everybody found out from everybody who was saying yes. It wasn't going just to me. It was going to the entire group. They may not have known that. So now we know it. We're trying to let you understand how this system works. Reply means goes to everyone on the message board. So if you want to reply to a specific member, then you have to do it in this other way. You can, of course, open up a new email and a clean message and start all over and just send that person. Or you can do the click forward and enter the email address of the specific member in order for only one person or your selected recipients to receive the message. So
any other questions? Because remember, if you have a question, people who are watching this video after we finish, they may also have the question. So if we can answer it in here, we'd really like to do that. Nobody has any questions. Okay. I guess. Oh, yeah. Margaret mentioned something that's important to reflect on. You don't do email directly from MemberLeap, right? Well, you can if you want to, but you don't need to. You can do it right from your email.
Yes, so that's true. There are two places to do it, just like in other systems. Generally speaking, we use it from our own email box, right? Whatever our emailer is. And so that would be the easiest way to do it. But sometimes, for example, suppose I have not opted into the K-12 group, but I would like to find out what the activity or what the discussions are there. In order for me to do that, I simply go to the MemberLeap and go to message boards and find the K-12 and click on their discussions. And that way I can read them in the system itself without receiving anything in my email. So that's another way for us to look at messages, and I can respond that way. But generally speaking, doing it from the email is probably the easiest thing.
And you know, Marcia, this brings up a really good point, is that now we have a way to see what's going on across level and across interest group so that we can do better advocacy, because we can now see, we can go into MemberLeap and we can see what's going on in every single level. So that's actually a good thing that we can do that.
Yeah, that's true. We weren't able to do that in the Google groups. You had to be a member of every single group in order to see anything. But here we're members of CATESOL.
And Margaret has a question I don't think we can answer.
Mm-hmm.
How can anyone add to the calendar of events? How do we do this?
So that is beyond our current research.
Yes. So we'll try to find the answer for you, Margaret. But not now.
Okay. So any other questions?
No, it doesn't look like there are any questions. So we can wrap up with the next couple of slides and you guys will get out of here early and the video will be shorter. So that's great.
So we also have a request of those of you who are watching now. We're seeking input on the new CATESOL website. So Wayna is working on our website with input from several of us. And she's put it up at this URL. And she would like us to take a look and send her some feedback.
And this looks like a really ugly URL, so take a picture of it or use the slide deck later to get to it because it's not live yet. We were really hoping to get it live for today, but we just have too many big things that aren't set yet that we can't make it go live. But we would love to get membership input. So if you're a level chair or an interest group chair or anybody, just tell everybody to go in there and try and break it and ask questions of Wayna. Of what you don't understand.
Okay. So maybe you can put that into the chat box. And maybe during that time, I can respond to Danielle's question.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so Danielle's asking, what are the differences between Google Groups and this discussion forum? All right, so we are not yet experts at it, but we've done some experimentation. And in fact, Susan and Anthony and I set up a test group to test out a number of things. So one of the big differences is about the replying. When we reply, and it looks like, so if Susan sends a message to the whole group and I think I'm replying only to Susan, I'm wrong. So I don't want to put anything private to her. I have to make sure that it's something for everyone in the group to see. Otherwise, I need to forward it. Google Groups was not so much like that. I think there was a way for you to, there was a way to reply and reply all.
And we've been having some problems with the Google Groups because they are open to the whole world. And a lot of people are spamming it. And Don physically is the only person who has access to all the groups because he made them, and it's very tiresome for him. This is going to replace Google Groups, the member leap message boards.
So the other thing is that only those dues-paying members of CATESOL are allowed to come into the member leap area and therefore have access to the message boards. So once your membership lapses, then you're out.
And Nora's got a good point that we should discuss, and she says they're not moderated. This is correct because they're not open to the world. They're just open to our membership. So we're hoping that we don't have a lot of issues with that need moderation, but all the level chairs and all the interest group council chair and the chapter chair will have access to moderate the message boards. But we're not anticipating a lot of problems because these are just our members. There's not the whole world in there.
Yeah.
So that's a good question.
Yeah, so that's good. One of the things that's very important is that it's certainly only members.
And then Nora asked another question. When is the new website available to review? Now. Go in there and try to break it and find out what your problems are and send everything to Wayna.
So just another thing about differentiating member leap from...
Okay, wait, we have another good question from Danielle. What are the rules for moderating the discussion? Anthony will be having a training on how to moderate well in the very near future. Correct, Anthony? You can unmute yourself to answer. Anthony? Well, anyhow, he will be having a training on how to moderate for moderators because we do realize that we need to know the best way to make our boards active. And he has volunteered to set that up after this training.
So one more difference between this, this system and a lot of the other areas where CATESOL chapters and interest groups and levels have presence on social media. So we all, or many of our groups have social media sites such as on Facebook, and those are not closed to members. On those particular platforms, there's no way to ensure that participants are members. So that includes people who are just interested in the topic, and also people we wish were not in the group. That's possible too. But with a member league group, it's only dues paying members. of
But there's one thing we need to remember to tell people is that we have a new tier of membership. For people who don't want to go to the conference and don't want to be a member, but they want the discussion board, they can pay $20 a year and they can just have the discussion board, but they're not members.
Okay, so I'm going to write that on here. And so for message board dues only, it's $20. So that's a new category, and we intend for the new website to include that category under membership.
Correct. The old website will not do it because it's too much work to make that change when we're just moving the website. And so if you know of people who are upset about the Google Groups disappearing, that this would be an answer for them.
All right, so those of us who are coordinators, leaders of a group, we can message our folks at the Google Groups place and let them know of this new membership option, which gives them access to the member or the message boards only. So maybe we will be able to satisfy their interest in participating in our discussions.
Okay, so I think that brings us to the very last slide. We're really happy that, wait, there's a point here. Just a heads up for anyone reviewing the new website. If you click a link that goes out of the new website, e.g. the calendar, then click the CATESOL logo in the calendar. It will take you back to the old CATESOL site, and then you will be back to looking at the old current site. Be sure you go back to the new site link. So if you click out, you have to click back on that link that I sent. It's a little bit clunky right now because it's not live, but we really want your input so that when it goes live, it's actually useful. So even though it's a little clunky, we hope you'll do that. Thank you, Molly. So any other questions from anybody? Shall I unmute you all? And then you can talk? Maybe not. No questions?
It's good.
Oh, okay. Well, can we add documents? Margaret, we have the ability to do that, but we haven't set that up yet. And I think it's probably going to be for board members only to add documents. So we'll get that. We have 16 gigabytes of sharing space there. So we can definitely add documents, but we're not there yet. Unless you would like to investigate that, I can delegate that job to you. Let me know. No questions? Well, thank you very much, everyone. I've recorded this, so we'll be putting this out somewhere for everybody to use it. And thank OTAN once again for donating this Zoom room for us to use today.
Okay, thanks everyone for coming. And if you have any further thoughts or comments, we'll be happy to listen to them.
Okay, I'm gonna stop the recording.